Hi, thanks for joining me. My name is David. I'm one of the many cash register guys here at National Business Systems. We specialize in all types of point of sale systems, including SAM4s cash registers. What I wanted to show you today, and it's a question we get a lot, is what credit card terminals work with my SAM4s ER-915. So this is the ER-915, a wildly popular cash register for both restaurants and retail. It's an entry-level register, but it's very, very popular. Receipt and journal. We have videos specifically on this machine, but we're here today to talk about the pin pads. So, best practice whenever you're using a point of sale or a cash register is to integrate your credit card payments. When you integrate your credit card payments, you really increase the security of those transactions, and you really increase the accuracy of those transactions. That way you don't have your cashier having to ring up the sale and then enter the price again manually in a separate credit card terminal. When you integrate it, you ring up the sale once, you press the credit card or debit card payment button, it sends that transaction directly to your credit card terminal or the pin pad, which nowadays is usually customer facing. So the SAM4s ER-915 works with 5 or 6 really popular credit card terminals, also known as pin pads. So the first one I'm going to talk about is the Verifone P200. Now, before we even get into the pin pads or the terminals, you'll notice that there's no cables. There absolutely is normally cables, but for the sake of the video, I've unplugged the cables and the power cables. They're not wireless, so they would be cabled to your register. Most pin pads can be deployed in a stand as well, or they can go right on the counter. All of these have available stands or can be just laying on the counter. But again, they would all have cables. So this is the Verifone P200, a very popular terminal. Couple reasons why. It's fast and it's very affordable. This is on the bottom end of the price scale. This replaced, this one and the next one I'm going to show you from Verifone, replaced the VX805 that a lot of you may have right now or have had in the past. It was an incredibly popular pin pad that was used when EMV was first mandated back in 2016. The VX805 was ended, and it is no longer PCI compliant for new deployments. That's why we're no longer selling the VX805, and you won't see it in our list here today. So P200, very fast, very affordable, integrates directly via a data cap to the ER-915, stand or no stand. Supports all of your different payments, EMV, PIN-based debit, NFC, contactless, gift card, EBT, all can be done through this, depending of course on your processor. Speaking of processors, I don't think there's a processor in the country that we can't use. So give us a call just to make sure, but I haven't seen one we can't use in over a decade. So P200. Then we go to Verifone's next offering, which is the P400. The difference between the two, because you can see they're very similar, the P400 has a slightly larger screen and it is a touch screen. As where this is just a screen and you make your selections below, this has a touch screen so you can make some or all of your selections like debit or credit right on the screen as opposed to the buttons below. And again, that would be processor specific, but for the most part, most processors use the touchscreen completely. Again, supports all of your different types of payments, EMV, swipe, NFC, contactless, iPay, all of those, like all of them do. So it's a very complete package. It is still moderately priced. It's on the lower end of the price scale of pin pads, and it's very fast. Our customers report back to us that they really like the speed and that they like the touchscreen. Then we jump into a different manufacturer. This pin pad, credit card terminal, is made by Ingenico. This is the Lane 3000, a very popular terminal. Has a nice size screen, but it is not a touch screen. So it gives you the choices on the screen and then you make the selections from the buttons below. Supports all of the different types of payments that you'll be wanting, EMV, contactless, EBT, NFC, all of the phone payments, etc. PCI compliant with the newest generation, like all of these are. Can be deployed on the counter. We most commonly deploy it in a stand though. So that's the Lane 3000 from Ingenico. Pretty popular. Price-wise, it's more in the middle-high price range. Then we move to the next Ingenico, which is the Lane 5000. Lane 5000 has been more popular for our merchants, and the reason being is the larger screen, and it is a touch screen. So just like when we were talking about the P400, the choices can be made on the touchscreen for most processors. So your customers, your buyers will like that more than having to make the selections down here. So that's why I think the terminals with touchscreens are far more popular. This one, the Lane 5000, does come with a stylus or a pin, and that is for signature capture. However, none of the SAM4s, including the 915, support signature capture. Signature capture really is being phased out as well. So we never deploy it with the pin because it would be useless. So really popular. The contactless and NFC on this is really, it's got a nice feature. It's got this little extra area up here with that NFC or contactless icon. And so it really lets your customers know where to tap their device or their card. These have it, of course, as well. The Veriphones, they just don't have the icon. You just tap it to the screen or near the screen. But Ingenico, I think, does a little bit better job of actually displaying that. On both the 3000, they have that icon here, and the 5000, they have the icon on this little extra device that they've put up here. Really popular. Can go on the counter directly or in a stand. I would recommend it in a stand. That leads us to the Lane 7000. There's two more larger. There's the Lane 7000 and the Lane 8000. We very rarely deploy them with a SAM4s cash register because typically it's really based on signature capture and custom applications written for very, very large national retailers or restaurant chains. Nothing that we need for the SAM4s. We have deployed several of these though. Our customers like them, but they had some specific need, which is why we use the Lane 7000. The Lane 7000 and the Lane 8000, which I don't have with me today, but it's very similar, both on the higher end of the price scale. So sweet spot for us and our merchants has been the Lane 3000, the 5000, the P400, the P200. Entry level price only was going to be the P200. Touchscreen and price, it's going to be the P400. Like I said, all of them work with pretty much any processor in the country, so that's not an issue. They all interface to the 915 with the use of a data cap. And data cap is a middleware device. They've been around for 20 plus years, and it is what does the communication between your register and the pin pad and the merchant services. So we'd be more than happy to answer your questions. I'm sure you've got a lot of questions about this. But again, the best practice is always to use integrated payments if you're taking credit card and using a point of sale system or a cash register because of the increased security and the increased accuracy. You don't want your cashiers turning a $19.95 sale into $1.95. That can happen all day long if you don't integrate these payments, and it does happen all the time. That's why people integrate the payments. It's faster and it's far more accurate and it's far more secure, especially when you're using credit card terminals like these, because these are designed to be customer facing. Visa, MasterCard, the card brands, they really never want the card leaving the customer's hands. And when you're using a device like this, it does not have to. Of course, you could use it behind the counter, but Visa, MasterCard wants you having these customer facing. So whether you own a store or a restaurant and you're looking for a solution, we are happy to help you out. But if you're a bank or an ISO or an agent, we're more than happy to work with you as well if you're looking for a solution for a client. Give us a call with your questions, 800-863-2274, or find us on the web at cashregisterguys.com. Thanks a lot.